So again, based on the numbers that we've seen here in terms of the number of whistleblower reports that he's taking in versus the number of closed sessions that he's having on whistleblower reports, you'll agree with me that he's filtering out a significant number of reports to the board, right? Complaints, I should say.
I'm sorry to reject the front question. It's argumentative. Also, lacks foundation, calls for speculation. Go ahead and answer if you can.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with your statement because it's not clear why those two whistleblower reports were closed out. I think he's not hiding something from the board. He's just reporting he's resolved those two things. And as board president dealing with a multitude of issues and problems, I have confidence. I have had, and I still do have confidence in his competency.
Great, but you'll agree with me that this document, taken in conjunction with the statistical information that we put in front of you, shows that you were aware that Matt Chasen was receiving whistleblower reports, closing them out, and not reporting them to the board. Fair?
Some reported to the board, some not.
True, right? So the some that were not, those are the ones we're talking about, right?
Yeah, and I don't believe I do not have recollection that he reported them all out, but.
Well, in fact, based on the documents that we've put in front of you that you say that you've read, you'll admit to me that you knew that there was, with me, that you knew that there was that there was whistleblower reports that were not getting to the board, right?
Check the front question. But that also foundation will have an answer if you can.
I do.
Yes. But is there a question? Or is there an answer?
I haven't received an answer.
Why don't you repeat the question, please?
Well, in fact, based on the documents that we put in front of you that you say you've read, you'll admit to me that you knew that there was whistleblower reports that were not getting to the board, right?
What is true is that not all whistleblower reports ended up in front of the board. The subtext of the question is, distorts it as if this is something that's questionable policy practice, and I don't think it is.
Okay. I appreciate that. I think we're on 8 now.
So I only have 7.
Just throw it. You'll get an 8.
You'll get an 8. In the fullness of
Thank you.
All right. So this is, you'll agree, is another one of these reports to the school board of Milwaukee Board of School Directors, this time for May of 2021?
Yes.
Okay, you're still the school board director at that time, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to point you to this headline in here, work plan highlight, whistleblower protections. You see that?
Yeah.
We'll look to the second paragraph there. It says, as part of the OAE's FY 2020, FY 2029 strategic plan, Accountability and Efficiency Services recently completed capacity building efforts and through review procedures of receiving and reviewing whistleblower reports. Do you see that there?
Yeah.
Okay. These efforts and ensuing enhancements will ensure the OAE is able to continue to receive and review all reports with fidelity, even during times of increased volume. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that sometimes Matt Chasen is a little hard to understand here, but as I get this, he's saying that his office is building up efforts to receive and investigate whistleblower reports. Is that fair?
Check the foundation.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And he's doing that because there might be times of increased volume of complaints. Fair?
Some objection, foundation, cause for speculation.
I think he says it's to continue to receive and review all reports with fidelity.
Okay, do you believe that there was an issue at this time with the Office of Accountability and Efficiency having too many whistleblower reports?
I don't have enough information to answer that.
Okay. What information would you need to answer that?
Well, definition of during this time, definition of, more information about his staff's capacity and his staff's work on whistleblower reports.
Great. So I see here the date is May 2021. You agree with me that that's the time frame we're talking about? Okay. Then if you'll just compare that time frame with, I think in Exhibit 6, they're likely wrong.
September 22.
No, I'm sorry. This is our matrix here with the reports it received and the reports given to the board.
It's Exhibit 5.
5. So if you'll look to Exhibit 5. Thank you, Chris. So May of 2021, how many, 2021, how many reports? 19.
I'm just going to check the form of the question. This is at a specific period in time, Exhibit 8, May 2021. The Exhibit 5 is for the entire year, so that may be off.
Keep that in mind for future reference. Thank you, Chris. Okay. And I'm sorry, can you repeat the answer?
Question, so in May of 2021, how many reports? And then 19.
Okay, I appreciate that. So, did you ever get a direct communication from Teresa Falderone to you as a board member about her complaints about MPSU?
I believe she sent me an email.
One email, do you think?
Or a couple.
Okay, a couple, okay. And we'll do this one as next place. You have 9, I believe. Okay.
This is your copy, this is yours.
Sorry, if you can get one.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. So, and can you identify this document here?
Looks like an email sent to all board members in the Office of Board Government.
Okay, and I noticed that there's 2 dates on here, but I believe this was sent August 1st of 2022. Does that sound right?
That's what's in the forwarded message of the email.
Okay. But that also relates to your understanding of when this document would have been sent?
Yeah,
Okay, and do you recall receiving this document?
yes.
Okay. And I noticed that there are several, let's say your email address on here is a Gmail address. Is that fair?
That's when she sent it to me.
Okay, so, but it's fair that you got this and received it on the Gmail address. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever tell Teresa Falderone or anybody else not to send you information on your Gmail account?
I've told some people. Yeah.
But not Teresa Falderone?
I don't know if I specifically told her.
Okay. How about, have you ever produced emails from your Gmail account for public records requests?
I did some, yeah.
Okay, for how many public records requests do you think?
I can't recall.
Okay. And how did you process those?
I did. When you say process, what do you mean?
Sure, appreciate that, and I'd be happy to answer a clarifying question on that. How did you select which emails to produce for public records?
Well, most of my emails went to the board members, so things having to do with, I did searches for keywords.
Okay. Now, when you say there was some public records requests that you produced your Gmails for, were there other public records requests that you did not produce emails from your Gmail account for?
Check the phone person's contact. That's speculation, go ahead and answer.
I don't recall. I assume that there were some that might not didn't identify because they were short and didn't pop up when I did the search for others.
Okay. Now, just reading from this document, it starts, as you know, I am a whistleblower and have been since 2019. Do you see that there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and you said you received this email. Did you ever respond to this document by telling Teresa Falderon, for example, you're not a whistleblower?
I don't think I said that to her.
Okay. Did you ever convey that concept to her in other words?
Check the phone person's broad and vague. That's the word conveyed. That's your speculation, go ahead and answer it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I could have been a phone conversation. I could have been a phone conversation, perhaps. But I doubt that I responded to this email with all the emails that are listed.
Okay. After you read this email, did you have the belief that Teresa Falderon was a whistleblower or something else?
I believe that people who complain to the district as a whistleblower are whistleblowers.
Okay.
Whether or not they're,
Okay, so let's go here and says, she reported allegations of mismanagement. Do you understand that to be true?
One question's broad and vague.
I don't know, yeah, it's too big. I know mismanagement of what.
Did Teresa Falderon report to you allegations of mismanagement at MPS at any time?
She probably reported it around MPSU.
Okay. Did Teresa Falderon report to you allegations of malfeasance at MPSU at any time?
What is your definition of malfeasance?
I'll just use the ordinary one. And do you not know what that word is?
I just wanted to hear what you had to say.
Sure, I'll be happy to give you if that's what you're asking. So where I get that, the root mal, I'm getting bad, and I say feasance there is going to be some kind of action there. So I would assume that that's bad actions based on my rudimentary Middle French.
I'm going to object to the question's broad and vague false. For speculation as to what Ms. Falderon meant is malfeasance. Go ahead and answer if you can.
Right, I mean, that's my point. Mismanagement can mean all sorts of things. Malfeasance can. But I believe that she had some complaints, especially about MPSU. I stick with that.
Okay, and just so we can move forward, you'll accept with me that people can have multiple understandings of the same word, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that mean that because that's the case that it's impossible to communicate? No. Okay.
I'm going to object to that question being argumentative. The objection was to Ms. Falderon's definition of mismanagement, malfeasance, and fraud. You're asking Mr. Peterson if she included those allegations. He doesn't know what she means by mismanagement, malfeasance, and fraud, is what he told you.
Well, thank you for that testimony. Are you aware, do you know what the word fraud means? Okay. Are you aware of whether or not Miss Folaron made an allegation of fraud at MPSU?
Same objections.
I'm not certain it was fraud, but I know she had complaints about how things were handled in MPSU, including some financial things, so that could have been fraud, yes.
Okay. Great. And then you have a general understanding what the word nepotism means?
Yeah,
Okay, and that comes from Greek, I presume cousin, right?
I'm not sure about
Oh,
that.
okay. So nepotism there. My question then is, did you ever understand that Miss Folaron was making allegations of nepotism at MPSU?
I believe yes.
Okay. And so my understanding of the word nepotism means that there are two people who are working for the same employer that have an improper familial relationship, for lack of a better word. Is that your understanding?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Fine. What were your understanding of what the nepotism allegations were at that time?
Somebody benefiting from a relative who is in a position of power.
And who was that somebody?
Check the following question.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she ever specifically identified that for me. I would think it would have been one of her supervisors. Could have been
Lonnie Anderson, right?
Yeah, because I believe that his wife was involved with the private MPSU.
Okay. And does MPS have a policy against nepotism that you know of?
Yeah, but I'm not sure how it would apply in this case.
Well, do you know what the policy is?
I know there's different aspects of it, like if you're a principal, you can't have somebody working for you at that school who's in the same family or connected.
Okay.
There's different things like that. I don't have the specific policy memorized.
Well, just to follow that analogy, would it be proper for somebody who was the head of MPSU, for example, to have his wife working at MPSU?
Check the following questions. Broad and vague. Also found cause for speculation.
Yeah, I think I don't know if there was a policy for MPSU. I think depending on the situation, there could be definitely nepotism, or maybe for some reason it's not. I mean, I have to delve into the details.
What does that mean?
Whether or not, when I said like MPSU, depends on what section or who hired, who supervises. I mean, so it could be within an institution. The broadness of it might allow certain relationships to be okay, but others not.
And what steps, if any, did you take to investigate whether Lonnie Anderson and Lonnie Anderson's wife were working according to policy, the nepotism policy at MPS?
Check the following questions. Broad and vague. Also lacks foundation. Cause for speculation.
Let's see. I think I can't remember who I spoke to just to confirm the concerns about Lonnie.
Okay. And then what happened?
I'm not sure if I might have talked to Matt about that, asked him if that was the case.
Oh, okay. Does that count as a special project or something else?
I believe that for Matt, Teresa was a whistleblower.
Okay. Does that count as an investigation or something else?
Check the foundation. Got an answer for that.
I don't know what it counts for. That's just what I asked him about.
Sure. But in those reports there, we're talking about investigations, right? And you, when we talked, you said that board members could go to Matt Chasen and ask him to investigate certain things. And you said there was nothing stopping you from going to Matt Chasen about Teresa Falderon's complaints, right?
Check the former question. I think it mistakes his testimony as well as his probably.
Well, and I thank you, Chris, because I don't want to be, that's why I'm trying to find out. Is that what you testified? Did I understand that correct?
Again, just let him answer the question. Don't ask another question before he answers it. I made my objection, so let's just let him answer the question.
Okay, let's do that. Appreciate that.
Could you repeat each question?
But in those reports there, we're talking about investigations, right? And when we talked, he said that board members could go to Matt Chasen and ask him to investigate certain things. And you said there was nothing stopping you from going to Matt Chasen about Teresa Falderon's complaints, right?
Also, it's compound.
Yeah, there's several questions there.
Sure, you told me before there was nothing stopping you from going to Matt Chasen about Teresa Falderon's complaint. And for the record, I'll withdraw the previous question.
Check it's been asked and answered also. Go ahead.
So what question am I answering?
I'm just asking if whether you testified to us earlier, whether or not that it was the case that there was nothing preventing you from going to Matt Chasen about Teresa Falderon's complaint.
That's true.
Okay. Now, it also says discrimination in there. It says nepotism and then retaliation, sorry. What was the retaliation concerns that Teresa Falderon had reported to you?
I believe there was a committee or something she might have not been on or taken off of.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm not certain. Not that I can recall.
Okay. Now, moving on, it says discrimination. Do you recall what those concerns or complaints were about?
No.
Okay. Now, moving on, it says they include clear violations of MPS policy and law. Do you believe that Teresa Falderon articulated to you about any violations of MPS policy at any time?
Check the following questions broad and vague. Also calls for speculation as to what policy and go ahead and answer it again.
Yeah, it's hard for me to answer that because of like clear violations versus unclear, and what policies and laws are you referring to?
So as far as I know, I've cabinet just the violations of MPS policy. So we'll leave the adjective out of it for the time being, but we're just talking about, did Teresa Falderon articulate to you any violations of MPS policy at any time?
Some objections. Go ahead and answer if you can.
Well, I think the one policy that it's not nepotism, but the policy that having Lonnie in a supervisory position and his wife working in MPSU, I think it's a little complicated because I believe his wife was hired by the private company, private school, the Geo, whatever.
The turbo?
The turbo.
Yeah.
And so I don't know technically, and that's technically how that impacts the policy, but to me, what I also learned from both, I think from Teresa and also others is that Lonnie's wife wasn't a stellar teacher.
Okay. And what steps did you personally take to resolve that issue, if any?
Check the form questions broad and vague. Go ahead and answer if you can.
I think I double checked with Matt to make sure that he was investigating.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that was it.
Okay.
I can't remember. There might have been more, but I think that was it.
Okay. What did Matt Chasen tell you?
Yes, he was investigating.
Did you ever receive a report from Matt Chasen on the result of his investigation?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did that improve your opinion of Matt Chasen as somebody to be relied upon, or something else?
More questions, probably. Go ahead and answer.
I have no comment about that. I didn't judge him on that.
Why not?
Because my assumption was that he was investigating it and it was proceeding.
Okay. And I get that. And when did you know about when you talked to him about this?
I think it might have been a couple different times. Certainly, pretty sure it was after. I contacted him, I think, after this particular email came. I might have talked to him before it. Teresa and I might have had communications before this.
I'm sorry, you're referring to email which has been marked as exhibit.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going from August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, and then April. So that's, roughly speaking, 8 months here that you've never got a report from Matt Chasen back on the nepotism investigation, right?
Yeah, my understanding was either from him or someone else that was dealt with, that Lonnie's wife was no longer working for whatever.
Okay. And how does that resolve Teresa Falderon's complaint?
Just the phone questions required today. Remains at the time.
Well, it resolved. It did not resolve the entire complaint. Entire complaint is very broad.
Because this